pangilinan?
Well, offhand, I'd like to think the youth should be one of the sectors that would be one of the forerunners in pushing for a genuine alternative political force. Church-based organizations, likewise, should be able to be in the forefront. I think, when I ran as an independent, it was really based on my belief that that we have leaders must provide our people with choices, real choices. And I felt that at that point, going to the administration or going to the opposition, parang sabi, ito na lang ba? Parang saan ba dapat lumugar yung ating mga kababayan? Doon sa administrasyon na ang daming skandalo sa ngayon? O yung sa dating administrasyon na marami ring skandalo mo? Yun na lang ba ang pagpipilian ng ating mga kababayan? And I said no. I said, dapat, it's a function of leadership. A lot of our politicians who are very pragmatic are saying, you can't break out. You're going to have to go through the traditional political groupings and organizations. And that's either administration or opposition. And I tell myself, no, that's precisely why we haven't moved forward. Because our leaders have become too pragmatic for their own good. Leaders have become too accommodating and looking at what is more convenient rather than what is right and what should be, where we should provide leadership for our people. Pagka nagpa-survey kasi, ay, malakas pa daw si Era. Pag nagpa-survey, oh, yung makinarya ng presidente, GMA, yan ang mga dapat natin. But these surveys are indications of what is today. Precisely because leaders are not bold enough to provide alternatives and present alternatives, they will choose from what is there and not from what has not been presented. So leadership must take a decisive, must be decisive and bold enough to risk and show the way and tell the people, this is where we should go. This is the political alternative. This is the genuine alternative to politics as usual. And I was quoted before as saying, and I'll say this now, maybe some of you have followed this, in terms of my membership to the Liberal Party. They're saying, will I support, for example, whoever the Liberal Party will support for president? I said, it depends. For example, it depends. Where will we bring the party? Where will we bring, if the party is going to align itself with forces that represent politics as usual, then I cannot go and toe the party line. We will have to move away, break out of politics as usual, present the politics of reform, and that's where we're going to go. And so the Liberal Party, as far as I'm concerned, is willing to take that lead and break out of the politics as usual mode. Then well and good. Then let's see other sectors. Let's get the youth in. Let's get the church-based groups in. Let's get the academe in. Let's get the young professionals in. And move towards the genuine political force that is an alternative to the current traditional political opposition and the administration. But that is not easy. That is not easy. When I ran as an independent in 2007, I was willing to lose. I was willing to lose. It was a calculated political risk. But I told myself I was ranking number 2. My candidacy so far is viable. But when else will I use this political capital? When else will I make a stand? When else will I say, let us move out of politics as usual? When will I stop, or when will I, in other words, why will I allow myself to perpetuate politics as usual? I said no. I'll take the risk. If I lose, then I lose on a matter of principle. I go back to my family. I'll have more time with my wife and my children. Wonderful. That's much better time than spending with some of the senators I know now. It's not such a bad thing. But at least, and finally, my thesis is this. In the last 20 years, you have had public sector leaders, particularly in the local government level, who are decisive. In fact, if you ask me, public sector leadership cutting edge sa locals. They're the ones who are facing the problems. They're the ones who are delivering in terms of results. In other words, in the last 20 years since '86, we have a new generation in terms of thinking, not only age, of public sector leaders who are risk takers, who are willing to solve problems, who are willing to take risks, and who are willing to painful and difficult decisions. The challenge is to hasten. The challenge is to get more of them together. The challenge is to be able to provide precisely that political alternative among like-minded public sector leaders who are out there. And that's a function of leadership. We have to take that risk to be able to bring that force together. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.